Yes, sir.
Bill, do you plan on having Cam Newton as your quarterback going forward?
Yeah, absolutely.
Those were questions and the answers provided by one Cam Newton. Looks like the Pats, though, may have run out of answers for the moment. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin were presented by Progressive Insurance. Let's jump right into the discussion, fellas. Here's the deal. Simply put, the Pats have won the division 11 straight years. It is the longest streak of winning a division in the history of the National Football League. But many people believe this year could be a changing of the guard. Buffalo leads the division. Key, New England heads to Buffalo on Sunday, with New England coming off a disastrous performance where Cam yesterday threw 3 picks, was benched. They had 58 total yards at the half. At the half of a National League football game.
I don't know what you're asking me for. I don't have any answers. I'm just like, man, I feel bad. I feel bad for Cam. I really do. I thought that he would bounce back after the performance against Denver, had a whole week to get himself ready, prepared to go, and he basically stunk up the joint. I mean, he's got to play better. There's no question about it. He knows it. I don't know what it is. I really don't. But watching a player like this with this ability play the way that he played, something's going on, and I don't know what that something is. I don't know if things is too much weight on his shoulders and he's trying to act as though it's not. But you can tell he's out of sync and he's not comfortable. I don't know what that is. He's just not comfortable. Something is going on where he's out of sync. And it's bad. It's bad football. He's putting 2 straight weeks, basically 2.5 straight weeks of bad tape, or 2.5 straight games of bad tape out there.
Matt Hasselbeck said yesterday that if Cam isn't involved in play action or running the ball, when he's in the shotgun, that resembles more the way Tom Brady used to play in Bill Belichick's system, that he just really struggles. His arm just looks dead. He's just not finding people. And the reality is, Key, watching that game yesterday, all the interceptions were him just dropping back in the pocket, just making easy assessments. It just doesn't feel like he has that same pop with his throws.
Whether he's in the shotgun or underneath center or whatever the case may be, he's been in shotgun his entire career, all the way since high school to Florida to junior college to Carolina. He's played in the gun. So that doesn't mean anything to me. You could tell his energy level as a whole is not there. It seems like he's not having that type of fun that he was having the first couple games of the season. And for whatever it is, we never really would know because he hasn't said anything. Cam is one of those dudes, prideful men, that just kind of he's just going to carry it with him until it turns around. When you go 9-15 for 98 yards and 3 touchdowns, they can't do anything but bench you at that point. The game is out of reach. They lose 33-6. They have to try to, salvage their season, so to speak, by not putting him out there, having him get hurt. Now they got to stay with Hoyer, Jarrett Stidham long term. Bill Belichick wasn't going to do that. So he decided that we're going to sit you down, allow somebody else to go in and see if we can get something going on an offensive side of the ball. They'll go back. I trust Josh McDaniel. I trust Bill Belichick. I'm not ready to say that they're going to just surrender the division to the Buffalo Bills because they lost yesterday to the 49ers. I'm not ready to do that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. First time they lost 3 straight since 2002, which is just insane when you think about the dynasty that Bill Belichick and company have established.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then, Key, vice versa, though, think about it. Jimmy G, who gets traded from this team, comes back into Foxborough. He doesn't have an incredible game, but throughout the course of the game, with Jeff Wilson and company just dominating them on the running game, 3 TDs, he watches his old coach bench the starter in Cam Newton and replace him with Jarrett Stidham, and they dominate. What a great return for a first-time return for Jimmy G.
That's good for Jimmy G, that he won the game. Like you said, he didn't play great. He didn't play bad. He just
2 wins in a row after it comes off the high ankle sprain.
He did good. He did turn the ball over twice with 2 picks. I don't think that Bill Belichick is sitting across the field and looking at Jimmy G and said, damn, I wish I still had that. I don't think that that's the case. Because the 49ers are still trying to figure out if he's their long-term answer.
Keep in mind this, and I'm so glad you mentioned Jeff Wilson, a small sidelight on the 49ers to give them a little bit of credit. They are a true mash unit. It's always next man up. Before last year, nobody had heard of Raheem Mostert. He has a great postseason. Before this season started, nobody had heard of Jeff Wilson. These guys are just getting it done for Kyle Shanahan, one guy at a time, one contract at a time for the Pats. And guys, I just want to get your quick opinion on this. The bottom line is, yes, Cam is struggling. Key mentioned sub 100 yards, 3 picks, bench for Stidham. But the reality is they have nothing invested in him. This is a one-year deal he signed, $1.75 million for $550,000 guaranteed, which is a pittance in the NFL.
It is. And you know, he knew that when he went there and signed. We all know that because it's public knowledge. Doesn't mean that he needs to throw 3 picks. Doesn't mean that he could play as bad and poorly as he has the last couple games. No matter how much money, if he was making $30 million, I'd still say the same thing. He has to get his ass in gear and get going. Period. He knows it.
You know what's so interesting about this? So the different directions of the way these legacies are starting to be somewhat described. So you have Bill Belichick not winning, only has won 2 games with the team in their division. People are talking about the Bills. People are talking about what's wrong with Cam. You know, is it the system? You know, what's going on? And then you have Tom Brady, who the other day throws for 369 yards, 4 passing TDs, 1 rushing TD, and how the legacy of Brady is starting to be changed is, look, this is the team that can win the Super Bowl. Just, it's funny how this has happened in week 6, and now we're finding ourselves, week 7, going in 2 different directions for these 2 people.
It's a great point. Meanwhile, the Pats offense looks impotent, and Brady and the Bucs are about to get a surge with Antonio Brown. So things might be going from bad to worse as far as the schism between them goes. Belichick with 2 wins right now, Brady with 2 losses. We're asking everybody on the Dr. Pepper Twitter feed, who's more likely to be in a new team next year? We've had the whole conversation about Cam, so let's throw Cam out there. 1-year deal. Cam, Sam Darnold, or the guy that Jay said had a triumphant return yesterday, Jimmy G. More likely, new team next year. Darnold, Cam, Jimmy G, all with experience in the AFC East. Be a part of our nation on the Dr. Pepper Twitter feed, ESPN Nation, presented by Dr. Pepper. It's official. College football is back. So is your favorite Dr. Pepper-loving college football town, Fansville. Head to a store near you to treat your inner college football fan to an ice-cold